Hello, everyone. This is your host, Sirisha Akela, and I welcome you back to another inspiring episode of Life Musings by Dr. Padmaja Nandigama. There's a famous quote by Maya Angelou which says, I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And these feelings create unique connections. And today's talk, Professional Presence, will be all around this with our expert, Dr. Padmaja Nandigama. She's a psychology faculty, a life coach, motivational speaker, and also an academic advisor. Thank you so much, Padmaja Garu, for being here.
Thank you, Sirisha, for the nice warm welcome.
So let's get started with our first question. What is the impact of professional presence and why is it important?
You know, professional presence, as you say, is you have to be professional.
Correct.
It's a branding of yourself. You know, how do you present yourself?
Yeah.
What should anybody know about yourself when they first see you?
Yeah.
You know, so for example, what is Sirisha? You know, so they will know that Sirisha has certain personality, Sirisha has certain way of dressing. So it's a combination. Your professional presence is a combination of your confidence, you know, your poise, your self-control, and your style.
Yeah. So basically first impression.
First impression. And also you maintain that, like, you know, but people assess you in the first impression and keep all these things in mind when they notice you. What is her confidence level? You know, how poised is she? You know, is she having good style? And what style is that? Like, does she dress always in suits? Like, does she always wear scarves? You know, everybody has a certain brand. Correct. You know, how in control is she or he? You know, that is professional presence. You know, a presence which we create around us in our workplace.
Got it. So what are the different aspects of professional presence?
You know, there are many aspects. You know, when you look at it, like when you see a person and assess them, you know, the primacy effect, as you said, first impressions are the best impressions. You know, that's why when you go to a job, when you're doing your job interview, you know, you try to look the best. You know, you have to wear the best suit. You have to wear, you know, have a clean shave, or if you're a man, and then, you know, polished dressing, and of course, be groomed if you're a female. Yes. And also how you walk into the room, your stature, you know, are you walking with confidence? Are you poised? You know, that is also observed. As you walk into the room, people are going to observe. Is the person slouching? You know, or the person, you know, showing a lot of confidence? You know, your gait is also very important. Correct. And how you sit at the table. You know, whether you're making eye contact, or again, are you slouched, or are you sitting upright? So this is one, you know, your one part of your professional presence. And then the other one is your voice control. You know, how well are you controlling your voice? Or do you have a high pitch? You know, or you do speak too fast? Or what is your diction? So we have to keep in mind that you have a good tone of voice, good volume control, you know, maintain the pitch, you know, and have control of your diction, you know. So it's very important. People are going to observe all this, not only in the interviews, but generally, you know, and then, of course, how you present yourself comes from what you are wearing. right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I say to people that you don't have to wear brand clothing all the time,
Right.
but you have to be presentable.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the job, you have to look the job.
Correct.
And if you want the promotion, look promotable.
Yeah.
And it's part of the game. You have to, look that job to get that job, as I said.
Right.
So as men who probably have a beard, you should keep the beard trimmed, and maintain good hygiene. Everybody should maintain a good hygiene, because obviously body odor creates a lot of negative feelings, irritation,
yes.
right? So shower every day, wear clean clothes, present yourselves in a hygienic manner.
Mm-hmm.
Because people move in close proximities. So you need to have that clean hygiene. And as I said, like voice control, you should have a good presentation voice, your tone, and don't speak in too loud pitches, and don't speak too fast or don't speak too slow. You have to maintain that voice control. And another big part is your facial expressions. When people are listening to you, they're going to listen in a way that not only what you're saying, but also to your facial nonverbal cues. Make an eye contact. Have a pleasing personality. You should be smiling. Have a pleasant smile always. A positive disposition. And don't talk negatively about anything or anyone all the time, because people don't want to be around people who are giving this gossiping.
Right.
We don't want to be around negativity. So have that pleasant smile. So when you smile, people are going to mirror you. They say that there are certain neurons in our brain called mirror neurons, which we observe and throw the same behavior at them.
Okay.
So if you're smiling at somebody, you will automatically elicit a smile.
Yeah.
If you are giving negativity, or a frown or like a shrug, people are going to do the same thing, because they're going to mirror the same behavior.
That's right.
And have a clean handshake. You should have your, don't hold the hand as if okay, I don't want to shake your hand. I have to shake your hand. We hate sweaty, cold palms, right? Keep your palms clean and give a strong, firm handshake. It's very important, because it shows that you're interested in having a conversation. And also very important here is you have to keep in mind the cultural background, or the place that is this meeting happening. Some people in different cultures don't like handshakes. They might, not that they don't like handshake, but they would prefer, a namaste or a bow kind of thing. So keep that in mind, and don't take it personally, or don't take offense if they don't shake your hand. Understand that it's their cultural norm, and it is okay to use another form of greeting other than the handshake. So these are some of the aspects which comprise of your professional presence. Your walking, your talking, your nonverbal cues, your poise, your body posture. These are very important. And people pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yes,
they do.
Yes.
So how should we build a professional presence over remote job?
Very good question. Nowadays, for since last 2 years, and we have been working online, right?
Yes.
And if it is a meeting where it's a one-on-one meeting, or meeting between 4 or 5 people, very small meeting, compact meeting, always have your video on.
Yeah.
You are expected to have your video on, or go ahead and ask them.
Yes.
Or tell them that I might keep my video off because, I'm at a certain place where I can keep it on, or say your reason why you don't have it on. But if it is a small one-on-one meeting, or when it's very small group, or especially when you're presenting, you should keep your video on, and, actively participate in conversation, be on time. Of course, mute your sound if you are in a very busy location and you have to dial in to participate. So it is very important that even though we are online, people take it for granted that, okay, I'm going to be doing whatever I'm doing. I'm probably cooking and, see what?
It's very common.
It's very common. Yeah. But one thing is, when you practice certain discipline, even while online, it gives you a satisfaction and a motivation to stay on the job. Absolutely. If you dress up well, it gives you motivation to go on the job and give that confidence and office kind of setting. Boost. Yeah. So it gives a brightness to your day. Instead of sitting in your own pajamas and participating in the meeting, that might affect you even in your tone or your presentation or your motivation and your general outlook.
Correct.
So, yeah.
I completely agree. So does network etiquette, like we talked that before in our previous episode of communication, does that also come under professional presence?
Definitely. Because professional presence is anything which you do in workplace, right? So at workplace, you will go to lunches with your colleagues and advisors or bosses. So make sure that you have certain dinner etiquette or eating etiquette, restaurant etiquette, because, you should not be ordering something which you cannot manage to eat. Like if you don't know how to eat with this, chopsticks, don't order food that you have to eat with chopsticks, so don't embarrass yourself because it's going to put you in a delicate situation.
Just be yourself.
But just be yourself, and also, emailing, make sure that you write the subject of the email. And I tell my students, follow these rules and certain kinds of etiquette in terms of choosing your email address. lovebunny999@gmail.com. I'm not even going to open that email.
That's very important point.
Very important. You can have that email. Have that with your friends, but not professionally.
Correct.
Not while you are talking to your advisor or your supervisors or at work. Have a professional email address.
100%.
Yeah. And also have a subject line. Again, I tell my students, give me a subject line. So say, for example, if it is a question about exam, which is tomorrow, if you give me the subject line saying that the question about the exam, tomorrow's exam, I will immediately answer it or attend to it. But if not, I'm going to say, okay, I'm busy. I'll kind of get to this email later. And be formal. Many of my students don't understand this. You have to be formal because we are living in a society where our youngsters are thinking that they're entitled. They can do whatever they want. There's no respect kind of thing here. They will address me, Padmaja, or hi. First thing I do is, no, you have to address me as Dr. Nandigama or Dr. Padmaja, hello, professor. I have to make myself clear to them because we have to teach them how to be showing manners. See, we are living in a society or generation where they think that it is nice to be friendly, pally, equality kind of thing. No, there are certain norms. There are certain norms to be followed, especially in the professional setting. You might call your dad, hey, dude, kind of thing at home, but it doesn't cut it out. That kind, when you are at work, you have to give certain respect and you have to follow certain norms, right? So you have to address your professor with a certain name and give the message and talk coherently. Use a spell check. And sometimes mistakes happen. If they happen, own it. And then nowadays the word corrects itself. You don't even have to. All you need to do is say so many applications. Just use them and be cognizant when you're sending the email and sign off. And and then once you send the message, that's good. But once you receive the message, there is certain kind of etiquette even there too.
It's true.
You are supposed to answer it.
Correct.
Not sit on it. You could be on any level chain of organization. You're supposed to attend to an email within 24 hours. You have this in your job description, that you're supposed to attend to this within this time. You're expected to do this. So your feedback is very important. Your reciprocation is very important. The reason being that with your reciprocation, we can gauge your motivation, your interest in the subject, your interest in the job, your interest in the project, how well you are attuned to what is going on. So that's very important. And then cell phone etiquette, that's the big thing, right? We are all addicted to our cell phones. We are 24/7 logging, blogging, whatever, it's good. It's all good. I am totally with everybody in networking. I want everybody to be connecting. I want stay connected, but then there is a time and a place.
Yes.
Don't keep your phone on the table when you are in a meeting, especially one-on-one or especially in-person meetings. It's okay. You can put it in the bag and you can tell important people in your life that you are going to be busy for the next 1 hour.
Right.
So and then if you need to, it's an urgent call, excuse yourself, tell them why you need to attend the phone.
Very good point.
Yeah, always keep the phone away from on the table. And the reason being, why should you do that? You might ask me. Okay, it's my phone, it's there, I'm not looking at it, what's your problem, right? The reason being that if the phone is there, you are inadvertently going to look at that.
Correct.
It's a human habit, right? Our inquisitiveness. A message pops in, you are going to look there. So your concentration wavered from there to the phone. So your attention moved. And as a speaker, when I'm speaking to you, when you look away, I lose interest. I lose track, right, in the proceedings.
Yeah.
So I tell my students all the time, if you want to be on phone, please excuse yourself. Because I lose my track. I lose where I'm going, and I get confused. So it's not fair. And it's not fair to other people in class.
Yeah.
Because if you are looking at your phone, everybody wants to look at the phone.
It's true.
So you have to be, that's cell phone etiquette. And also when you're speaking on the phone, like don't talk too loudly, your personal problems, and
nobody wants to know.
Nobody wants to know. It's an irritation.
Yes.
People don't tell you, but people make jokes behind your back, or they frown upon your behavior. So don't look at your phone while you are in a meeting or in a conversation with somebody. It's considered to be rude. And another thing is, like, if you have to send a message, as I said, excuse yourself, and use decent language. Don't use foul language, especially in your professional area or in your professional setting. But I generally say that do not use foul language.
Yes.
The reason being that once you make it a habit, you can't stop it. Then once it becomes a habit, you have to think twice. Am I at work or am I at home? Can I use it here? Can I use it? Because it becomes a second habit. Right. It sort of flows. So, and that becomes a brand. Oh, that person, uses foul language all the time. So don't use those words which you're not supposed to be using.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can use, there are synonyms you use to show your frustration. You have to be very careful in the language you choose. Don't use slang, don't use abusive language, and don't use abbreviations too. LOL, that's okay when you are talking to your friends and you're in your peers, etc. But then especially when you are talking to your supervisors or in a professional setting, don't use these abbreviations. Again, one reason being that people might be coming from different cultures.
Yeah.
They don't know what you are saying when you're using abbreviations, and they may feel lost.
That's correct.
And it's rude. So, yeah.
And that's very important for kids nowadays, because it's so common to use the foul language all the time.
Yes.
At school, at colleges, and then they go back to, work, and then it's very hard. Very hard,
and these students don't understand that they will use these abbreviations even while emailing the teacher.
Right.
Okay. What do you mean K? Okay. And they have to understand that you have to be formal.
Right.
And they have to address properly when they're talking to their advisors or their professors. Yeah.
Very important. So could you provide some cues to enhance our resumes? I know we talked about LinkedIn in some of our episodes, but more tips around resumes or LinkedIn profiles.
Right. See, it's very important to build skills as you are in the work area, and networking is one of the aspects which you have to do. So you have to have these contacts with other people, and also one way to do that is have good relationships, and probably get mentored and mentor other people too, so you have to show interest. How do you show interest? By complimenting other people's work, by reading other people's work, and especially on your LinkedIn profiles or your networking sites, comment on other people's posts, like other people's posts, reinforce other people. Yeah. So what happens when you throw a ball at somebody or at the wall? It comes back with double force. So, Newton's law. So, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Yeah. So people are going to make note of that. Oh, Sirisha commented on my post. She's actively following me. So when you post something, they're going to give it back and, enhance your presence. So you have to make that effort. Exactly. Yes. And start networking. Networking is an important thing. It's an important skill actually, and you should keep that always active and learn new techniques in keeping yourself up in the market.
Just stay updated.
Stay updated. Yes, stay updated. Not only, when I say updated, not having the latest iPhone, but having and always look for skills to build your resume. Yes. You have to grow. You have to, as I said, if you want the promotion, look promotable. And EQ is one big thing, emotional intelligence. Yeah. In the professional presence, emotional intelligence plays equal role to your qualifications, if not more. Okay. So if somebody wants to be promoted, they're going to be looking at how good are you in helping other people. What is your emotional presence at work? Yeah. So, be that person who is always there to help other people. Have that positive presence everywhere you go. That attitude is very important.
100% true. So let me ask you a little different questions. Who gets to decide what is professional? Because how do we know when we have crossed that line of forced assimilation and we are discouraging people from being themselves?
Right. Every organization, every institution has certain rules, and before you go there or once you start the job there, they have certain specifications that you have to dress up like this. This is our dress code. They kind of give you that right when you join, and you have to adhere to that. Yeah. Like, some companies are a little bit casual, they, especially in West Coast, you see a lot of, companies are very casual in their attire requirements. So dress code requirements. So, but then certain professions need you to be very professional. Like, lawyers, they need to be in suits. Right. Doctors, you need to be presentable, hygienic, clean in your scrubs. You may not be wearing not be in the latest suits, but you should be presentable, you should be professional. And you should be wearing, if you're a nurse, you are supposed to be in scrubs. So, yeah. So even for students, and professors too. For example, when I am teaching, I am supposed to be following certain professional presence. Okay. I cannot be dressing like a teenager, because the reason being that the focus of my students should be what I'm teaching, what I'm saying, rather than how I'm present. Correct. What I'm wearing, if I wear like tight pants or like a low neck, their attention is going to be somewhere. And I may not be demanding that kind of attention when I do that, Right. So it is very important that, and sometimes people ask me like, what if they have tattoos? Certain jobs are okay. Certain jobs say we don't want, then you have to cover your tattoos, right. So you have to follow the requirements that are being specified for every organization.
So just be comfortable, but little professional.
A little professional, yeah. So you just make those rules clear even before you sign a contract or get into the job.
It's true. So, so how does these cultural identities, how can they blend into this
professional presence? Yeah. See, if you compare cultures, like collectivist cultures and cultures coming from Western countries. So we have different types of cultures depending upon where we are coming from, right? Our cultural norms are different. But then, as I said, like professionally, when you all are working in one area, we have to follow the organizational culture, right? But then you have to respect the cultural preferences of the other person too. Like say, for example, people coming from collectivist societies like from Asia, India, Pakistan, Middle East, They have from the place where they're going from or growing up or in the cultural background, they stand too close and talk. Professionally in Western societies, people stand a little bit far away. They want at least 2 feet of distance between them. So honor that, learn that. And if the person is standing too close, understand that maybe they're not aware of this cultural specification. So they'll slowly learn, and because of this diversity, you have to keep in mind that people come from different backgrounds and be a little bit tolerant till, they find their own place in this different settings. Yes, cultural differences are there. But then you have to show respect to certain cultural norms and preferences, in the garb they wear or in the, prayer preferences they have, kind of thing.
That was terrific. Thank you so much, Padmaja Garu, for talking about professional presence and how can we show up best of ourselves.
Much needed presentation, right?
Very nice.
Yeah.
So we'll come back with more exciting episodes like this in our future. Subscribe to Mana TV YouTube and Mana TV Facebook channel, and also watch us on YUPP TV. Stay tuned, and thank you all for joining us. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay smiling. Goodbye.